It doesn't matter who you are. At some point in your life, you've looked at a photograph and it's evoked some sort of emotion for you. Hello and welcome to a quick tutorial about the exposure triangle. I often hear the questions, why are my images too bright or too dark? Why are they too grainy or blurry when something's moving in it, or not blurry when I want them to move? Well, to create an exposure or photo, your camera has three functions that you have control over, such as the aperture, the shutter speed, and the ISO. We're about to learn how those three combined and balanced will create a good exposure. Before we understand anything else, we need to understand a unit of measurement that is used in photography, and it's called a stop. A stop is to double or to half the amount of light that is let in to take a photo. Here we have a properly exposed photo, as indicated by a camera's light meter that is built in. By changing my display mode, I can show you a better version of a light meter bar on this camera. To the left is negative, an underexposed photo. To the right is positive, an overexposed photo. Increasing the shutter speed, therefore decreasing the time light is let in, will underexpose the photo. On the other hand, letting more light in by decreasing the shutter speed is an overexposed photo. To the bottom right of the camera, now you can see the same light meter bar vertically with a positive sign at the top and a negative sign at the bottom. To get a well-exposed photo, you might want to have the bar just around the zero line. At 1/250th of a second shutter speed, f5.6 aperture, and an ISO of 320, this exposure is considered a proper exposure. Changing the shutter speed from 250 to 1/500th of a second decreases the amount of light let in, therefore an underexposed photo. To balance it out again, we always have to change something else, such as the ISO or the aperture. I'm gonna go for the aperture this time. Now, to balance this out, I will have to add what I subtracted. One whole stop to the aperture from 5.6 to f4 will give me just enough light to bring it back to a properly exposed photo. Adding a whole stop to my shutter speed from 1/500 to 1/1000 means that I am underexposing again. To even that out, I will have to increase my ISO by also increasing it by a stop to 640 from 320. A slow shutter speed like 1/30 is slow enough to create motion blur in the background when following a bus. On the other hand, 1/1000 is fast enough to stop a bird in flight. A wide open aperture of 2.8 will have a very shallow depth of field, while an aperture of f11 will have a very deep depth of field. And finally, a high ISO of 3200 paired with a long shutter of 20 seconds can capture even the faintest starlight in the sky. Hello and welcome to today's photography. Thank you for watching.